If you want me to talk live on your stream at some point,
Yeah.
I'd like to sit in front of the camera.
Okay.
I feel really weird sitting over here, and I know they can't see me.
Well, I think they see you better than you realize. Hey, Richard Huff, how's it going, man? Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Valley Fish. Welcome to the stream. Hey, V-Stag. All right, good. Every time I change something in XSplit now, I'm worried it's going to go back to doing that before. How are you guys doing today? How is your Saturdays, or in some cases, I guess, Sunday, going? I don't really have a topic. I mean, there's lots of things we could talk about, but I figured I'd kind of let you guys run the show in the sense of what we're talking about. And my wife is nearing completion of her PowerPoint presentation on lighting, and I'll let her take the comm for a little while. Hey, King Lee, welcome to the stream, man. NASCAR and YouTube, great day. Hey, McMurray Farms, how you doing? I hope you're doing well too. Doing water changes, but we'll enjoy listening to the stream. Hey, Debbie, welcome to the welcome to the Bob Show. Yes, hit that like button now to avoid the rush later. McMurray Farms has a challenge for me. All right, I'm always up for a challenge, I think. Let me caveat that quickly in case it's something I'm not up for. Well, don't leave me hanging, McMurray. Richard, we lost another one. We lost one of the not the thread fins. What is the name of those?
Weren't they Godfroydii or something?
No,
like
goo something. We lost another one of the smaller ones.
that?
When we first put them in there, we had 8 of them, and we were all the way down to 2 in that tank, and I still don't know what their issue was. I treated them. They got treated with erythromycin and general cure, and neither one seemed to save them. I'm not sure if it's a potential water quality issue. It's McMurray says, I'm at 308 subs and you are at 351. First one to 400 wins. If I win, your wife needs to pluck 5 of your eyebrows. And you win, you can think of something for me. how about we just make a gentleman's bet on it? I have never really pushed for subscribers. The real reason to have a large number of subscribers is so that you can get to the super chat stage, and I am not really interested in taking anyone's money. I'm not interested in monetizing my streams. I'm monetizing my channel. I'm not interested in I want you guys to spend your own money on more worthy projects or on your own fish and equipment. I'm perfectly fine to not get any monetary reward for this at all. It would kind of color the way I think about YouTube if I was to start taking money in. So I've never really pushed for subs in the sense that that I'm, in a big rush to get to 1,000. I don't really. Guppy Crib was saying that that I should be at 10,000 in Corey's stream, and I said, I'm really okay with you not doing that because I'm fine where I am. I may get to 1,000. I may not get to 1,000. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm far more interested in the people that I do have sub to me being active and engaged, and me keeping their attention, and not letting this YouTube thing get to be such a big deal that my every waking moment is spent doing it. I spend way too much time on it now, but I don't want it to be, I don't want my ego to suddenly be involved with what's going on with YouTube. I'd prefer to keep that part of it out. I mean, it can't help but get in there a little bit, but I'm just really not interested in engaging YouTube money-wise. For one, they rip you off. They're keeping 30% of everything that's given, and the ad money and the channel revenue seems to be so low that it's really not worth the effort anyway, unless, I guess if I get to 10 million subscribers and everybody's telling me they want me to buy this and buy that, then maybe at that point I'll say, you know what, I've been doing this for 10 years and hadn't taken a cent, kind of like Joey did. Although Joey was selling books, and I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I've just got no interest in something that I see that is fun and worthwhile to me becoming involved with money, because it just changes the outlook, it changes the expectations, and I'm not interested. Aquarium Cop, welcome to the stream. AL, welcome to the stream. Ruru, welcome to the stream. Charles, welcome to the stream, man. Charles, in a little while, my wife is going to get on and start talking about her PowerPoint project on lighting and fish eyes. So you might want to stay tuned for that after a while. So yes, I'll race you to 400, but I've been watching my numbers, and I go up 2 or 3 and down 2 or 3 and up 2 or 3 and down 2 or 3. So I'm spending a long time at this number, in reality, in the sense of being at 348, 352. I just keep hovering in this area, so my expectations are not that high that's going to happen for me very quickly, and I'm not out begging for subscribers in any other forums or anything like that. Now, I gotta admit, I did for a little while when I first started. When I had like 30 subscribers, I started, other people would say, well, I only need 20 more to get to 100. I will admit to having said the same thing a couple of times, but it just left me feeling kind of flat. I really wasn't interested in that. Yeah, Richard, that's my point. I feel like that I've got something to offer people that are new to the hobby, and perhaps even people that have been in the hobby for a while. So that's what I'm all about. I'm not about money. I'm not about me forcing you to buy something or anything like that. Hey, Airborne Aquatics, welcome to the stream, man. So I'm pretty much open on topics today. I don't really have an axe to grind other than letting my wife take the helm for a little while and letting her talk. The rainbow tank, we're still having issues with it, and I'm kind of beside myself with it because I've rarely had internal parasites that were as pernicious and as determined to stick around as these obviously are. And I'm assuming that's what this is internal parasites, because of how quickly my one of the Gorda River rainbows died. Yeah, Charles, that's pretty much how I feel about it. That it's a what do they call it? A zero-sum game. That if you start worrying about, I fully support and recognize people like Corey, people like Joey. They've got something to sell. I've used 2 cordon meds, and I've used General Cure twice. So I bought some fenbendazole the last time, and that I bought meds, and so I'm probably going to have to go with that. Welcome to the stream, Yama and Danny's Aquariums. How's that new camera working out for you, Danny? Are you enjoying it? You don't have to share if you don't want to, Danny. I'm not pushing that. Charles, I have looked around a lot, but I want to go ahead and try. I bought this fenbendazole as a backup in case I couldn't get this. I don't know, Ruru, about how long levamisole will last, but I've seen plenty of people store it in the refrigerator. So yeah, refrigerator or maybe even freezer. I'm glad your camera's working out for you, man. I really enjoyed getting my camera, and while my photography and video skills haven't quite come up to the level that I think they should be at, I've really enjoyed having this camera to work on. Welcome to the stream, Jordan Fish Rooms. Are you about ready, doll?
Yes, whenever you're ready.
Well, there's about 20 people in here, so. All right, I'm going to turn this over to my wife and let her talk to you for a little bit about some of her findings and a PowerPoint presentation that she's going to put on her channel at some point. I'm going to eat the rest of this pot pie.
So you're going to finish your lunch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't want to wait too long because I usually start about 4:30.
Hello, everyone. I don't have my glasses on, and I can't see anything that you write.
Not a good idea. They're right there by my computer somewhere. So the reason that Dwayne wanted me to talk with you today is because I promised that I would. Thank you, dear.
Charles is in there.
I promised you that I would prepare some sort of video presentation for you about fish and lighting and how fish see. And I've been working on that. As many of you know, I'm a research scientist. I'm recently retired. I was a research scientist for 20 years, and my field of expertise is vision and also lighting. I was trained by the Army in lighting way back when infrared was a brand new technology that became available. I've kept up with it. I'm not way back there still, and what I learned when I came to the fish hobby is that many of the lights that we use to light our tanks are not really appropriate for our fish and our plants. And so I've continued to do research, and I'm putting that all together for you in a video / PowerPoint / whiteboard presentation, and I will have that up for you soon. But in the meantime, Dwayne wanted me to talk to you. I've got my fingers in front of the camera or something. Dwayne wanted me to talk to you to let you know a little bit about what's going to be in there so that you can look forward to that. So what I've done is that I've studied fish eye anatomy, and I've studied the requirements of a lot of common freshwater fish and that are in the hobby. You know, I'm not looking at trout and flounder because we don't keep those in our aquariums, but looking at your basic tropical fish, what do I want to call it, the array of fish that are generally kept by tropical fish keepers, and also a little bit about saltwater. Now, I don't know very much about saltwater, but I looked at it because I'm very, very concerned about rays that people keep in shallow tanks with intensely blue light shining on them, and that's really not good for them. That is destroying their retinal cells after about 4.5 minutes of exposure. So we want to know if the lights that we've recently developed and that are on the market are not appropriate, then what is? And you know, we may just have to put together a Dwayne and Elaine appropriate lighting package and make it available to you. I don't know how we would do that, but you know, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Dwayne just finished saying he doesn't want to sell anything, and I don't either, but it may come to that. So I would rather convince the lighting companies that what they're doing is not appropriate, and try to get them to, you know, make something that is appropriate. But I've worked with companies before to do this kind of thing, and it's very, very difficult to get something that's established to be changed, especially when they are not willing to do the research themselves, and they're not willing to listen to a voice that comes out of a different field of expertise. So I've got my work cut out for me. I hope that you may help me by advocating for this after I do or don't convince you that about what's appropriate and what isn't for your fish. So I'm putting all that together. It's not easy. You know, every slide takes a little time, and I'm trying to make it accessible for people who have accessibility needs, and so that takes a little extra time too, but I will get it done this month and present it to you. So I hope that you'll look forward to that. It'll probably be an ongoing thing, you know, where not just me, but maybe many of us gather all kinds of information and keep adding to it. And that's how I found that it works in the past when I've done something like this, is that other people start contributing things that they find out, maybe to a blog or something. And before you know it, after a couple of years, we have a great body of knowledge that we didn't know about before. And it's usually about that time that the companies who make these things are willing to listen. Now, that doesn't mean they're necessarily going to make what we want, even if they listen. But, you know, you have to take small victories as they come. And listening is the first step. So I'm going to attempt to see if you're asking me any questions here. I see that you're talking amongst yourselves, and I guess that's okay. Okay, so no questions so far, so if you do have questions, go ahead, and since I've got my glasses on now, you can go ahead and ask them. I don't want to give too much away before I actually make the presentation, because I want it to be in order, and I want it to make sense, and I want it to be, you know, have the right facts presented to you at the right time. So a little organization is needed, and as you can tell when I talk, I'm thinking about 3 or 4 things at the same time, and so I don't always get everything in order. And that's pretty critical to get things in order when you make a presentation in which you want to be persuasive and make people think about something. So that's my goal. Let's see.
About your vacation,
Oh, my husband wants me to tell you about my vacation. Okay, so I just got back from the little finger of the mitten that is Michigan, and I also went up to the Upper Peninsula, up above Lake Superior. And I had a really good time. I went with my son and his wife. And another thing that I do when I'm doing research is that I research mushrooms and other fungi. I'm trying to become an expert in those, because I'm convinced that fungi really can save our planet from, can save it from flooding, it can save it from pollution. Fungi can save our planet from greed and avarice in some cases, and I really want to be a part of that new frontier. Once again, I urge you, desperately urge you, I would almost pay you to go to YouTube and look up the presentations that are made by a fellow called Paul Stamets, S-T-A-M-E-T-S, in which he teaches about how mushrooms can help save our planet. And I know that not everyone agrees that our planet is in trouble, but most scientists agree that our planet is in trouble. And I think it doesn't hurt to listen and find out a little bit of information. So while I was up in Michigan, one of the things I do is that I tromp all over the forest everywhere I go and check out the mushrooms that are there. And I look at what is happening to the trees, because most of them grow on decaying wood. And so I look at the trees, and up in Michigan, if you live there, you probably know that the beech trees have just been decimated by a beech borer beetle, and the ash trees have been decimated by the emerald ash borer, And now there's something that's attacking the maple trees. I'm not sure of the name of it, but I hope to find out soon. And so the forests in Michigan are just down to 4 or 5 trees in general. Like where my son lives on the Little Finger, which is called the Leelanau Peninsula, they have oak trees are still standing, and the evergreen trees are still standing, although the black pine is being attacked by something as well. There are still, you know, trees of small numbers like the pawpaw tree and the chokecherry and things like that that are still standing. The birch trees are still standing, but almost all the other primary trees, the hemlock, the beech, maple, the ash, and the elm has already been destroyed, so all of those are under attack. With all of those trees dying, we know what happens is that other trees emerge that can tolerate the conditions there, that aren't being attacked by something. But also there's a lot of dead wood on the forest floor, and we can grow mushrooms on that dead wood that can contribute to conditions that would make the area ecologically safe, rid us of any pollution that might be there. And there's a lot, because the cherry farmers spray their cherries almost every day. So there's a lot of pollution that was once airborne and has fallen to the ground, and fungi has a way of remediating that. So I've been studying all of that. I guess you're probably figuring out that I'm a person that just studies all the time. I love learning. I never intend to stop learning, and so I'm going to continue to do this. So I don't know if my fungi information will ever merge with my fish information, but that's what I did on my vacation, and I had a good time. And plus I planted all kinds of stuff around my son's cabin. I'm a gardener too, so I have a degree in botany. I can't help myself. And when it comes to my particular tank of fish, I'm every bit as committed to the plants as I am to the fish, and I'm just as concerned about their survival. So, Dwayne, is there anything else you'd like me to address?
No, if you've given them enough of a taste of where they want to go see your PowerPoint, then I guess you're done.
Okay, so it looks like I lost about 6 people since I started, so not everyone wants to hear about this, but all of you all come back, because I'm going to turn it over to Dwayne. So it's bound to get more interesting. And I promise when I do my video, I'll be my entertaining self. I'm a little bit headachy right now and not at my best, especially with these lights shining in my eyes. But I promise to perk up. Okay. Turning it over to Dwayne. He's the man. Here you go, honey.
Okay. Can you get up? All right, what have I missed? Looks like Bob's in the house. Hey, Bob. Yep, that was my wife, Bob. That's Elaine. I was trying to convince her to come to Peru with us, but I think the mosquitoes ran her off. I don't think she's ready for all the mosquitoes in Peru. So I guess you got a little bit of a taste of what my wife's going to do her PowerPoint presentation on, and from what I've talked to her about, it looks like it's going to be a really interesting talk. So what's up with everybody today on happy Saturday or happy Sunday if that's the case your time zone is in. Yeah, Charles, as I broached a little bit in the last live stream, when I was a young man, we did a whitewater river in Canada, and almost all the way to the Arctic Circle, to Moosonee, the Missinaba River, and the mosquitoes and the horse flies and the delta wing flies in that part of Canada. All of the ground around the Missinaba River is like a bog, mostly. You know, there's a lot of pine needles on the ground and a lot of moss and a lot of water. And so every step you take, there's a cloud of mosquitoes that come up. So I got a really good dose of too many mosquitoes on that whitewater trip. Debbie, my wife, is very intelligent, and she has a wide-ranging grasp of knowledge in lots of different areas, and to pull them all together to talk about lighting in fish tanks and the effect of lighting on fish eyes and that sort of thing is one of her fortes, to be able to gather all that kind of information and the research. She knows some of the best people in the world whose work involves lighting and vision and lighting's effect on vision. And she has a botany degree and loves growing things, so all of that will combine pretty easily for her.
I have an education degree too.
Yes, she has an education degree too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the PowerPoint as much as you guys are. Even though I'll get to help film some of it. I don't see any questions or any topics that are being brought up. I'm wide open to whatever topics. Bob, by the way, I love the angels. They look glorious. I'm sure you're going to be having fun with those, and my suggestion would be to put them in a tank of their own. You need to get one of those 120s set up and put them in it, because angels, I've seen angels, pictures of angels and video of angels in the wild that were as large as pie plates. So angels get very tall and stay pretty narrow. So I would say like my Oceanic 110, the footprint of which is much taller than it is across, and I'd say that a tank that is much taller than it is wide would probably be a very effective place for you to keep those angels long term. When they start pairing up, yeah, I know you're right, they're not the largest angels, but I'm just saying that they can get, between the fins and the body, they can get very long from top to bottom. So I think how deep the tank is. King Lee is asking me how to get rid of seed shrimp, ostracods. King, what are you keeping them with? What is in the tank with the seed shrimp? Because that will have something to do with how you go about getting rid of them. I've mentioned several times in the past a very a very old school method that's been around since the 50s and 60s that people have used to rid tanks of hydras, snails, and shrimp. Okay, well, if your tank has cherry shrimp in it, then this won't work. You're probably going to have to go the fish route. That's about the only way you're going to get rid of them. You might pick a couple of fish that are really good at hunting seed shrimps down and put them in the tank for a while. Let them. I mean, I don't know that you're ever going to get rid of all of them because they're so small when they're young that they're gonna short of breaking down the tank entirely, like scooping the shrimp out and figuring out some way to make sure that you don't get any of the seed shrimp in with your cherry shrimp, and then putting the cherry shrimp in a new tank and then completely breaking down the tank and cleaning it. I don't have a clue how you're going to get rid of them. But I will tell you that this old school method is taking a one of the big old batteries with the like you put in a lantern, and getting 2 brass plates, not bronze but brass plates, and taking a wire and connecting each one of those plates to a battery terminal and dropping them in the tank, and the hydras will die within about 30 or 40 minutes. Snails will start to die in about an hour or more, and I'm sure that invertebrates of all types will die there soon after. You will get blue crystals forming on one plate, and you will get white bubbles coming off of the other plate, and you probably need to put a container underneath the one with the crystals, because that's going to be like copper, chelated copper flaking off. And that is a very, very, very old school method to get rid of shrimp, i.e. seed shrimp. Snails, it will kill snails. Well, it's kind of like that, except basically it's running a low charge between the 2 plates, which will drop a small charge in the tank. It will not affect fish. It will not hurt fish. So if you've got a lot of hydras in a tank and fish in it and not shrimp that you want to keep, then you can use this method. You can find the place that I got this from was from the old Tetra books, the Tetra magazines that came out long ago, and I read the actual letter that was written in by a doctor in Amsterdam about using this in my book review, the best publication ever video that I did quite a while ago, and I would recommend that video to you, and specifically that little section on how to use a battery and electric plates in a tank to kill hydras or snails or invertebrates. But you're going to have to be careful about your cherry shrimp and get them all out of there, or they'll get killed too. So King, in a roundabout way, to answer your question, I think you're going to have to find a fish that will probably not bother your shrimp so much and will hunt and eat the seed shrimp. And I know that betas will eventually also get around to killing your cherry shrimp too. But they would probably do an excellent job of eating all the little seed shrimp first. So you might get yourself a beta and put it in the tank and watch it closely for a while that it doesn't attack your shrimp, your cherry shrimp, and see does it depopulate your seed shrimp. And then once you've gotten it down enough where they're no longer competing with your cherry shrimp, then I would recommend you pull the beta back out again. Aqua Apprentice, welcome to the stream. D Bachelor's Planet Tank, welcome to the stream. We're pretty much running an open stream this time without any axe to grind specifically. If you tuned in late, you've missed my wife doing a teaser on her upcoming PowerPoint presentation video that she'll do about lighting and fish eyes in fish tanks. Well, King, I didn't really help you much, but I would recommend that you go watch that video of mine about the best fish keeping publication ever, because I think that just listening to that guy's letter is worth the price of admission. And for people that don't know about it, Tetra Books are the book that I chose, the publication that I chose as the best publication ever. But it is a entirely it depends on what you read and how much you learn from it when you're ready for that knowledge to cross over your skill into your brain. And so for everyone, it's going to be something different. Yes, Aqua Apprentice. Here, let me put a link up to her channel. She doesn't have a whole lot up there because she's not really been trying lately to do a whole lot. She's been on vacation. She's had medical issues. There are a lot of reasons why she hasn't put a whole lot up on her channel. But I will link it to you. And you can watch the stuff that she does have up. And it's Jordani Lane. Well, Aqua Apprentice, if you're talking to me about publications, Tetra Books, the international magazine that they came out with, it went on for a decade or so. So they actually put out a great many of them, and they were usually broken down into a topic, like tetras or angelfish or cichlids, or they usually broke down the whole magazine into a topic. And at the time, my skill level had reached a point where I was ready for the kind of information that was being published in that little zine or magazine. Hey, Shrimp Men, welcome to the stream. So my point, hey Chef, how's it going, man? My point is that it's a highly subjective thing to say what is the very best fish keeping publication ever. And the reason why I chose what I did is indicative of what it will be for everyone, because it will be when you are ready to, when your skill level has risen to a point where the information that's being published in that publication, be it book, magazine, whatever, is able to transmit itself to you and for you to understand it and then turn around and use it. Welcome back, Yama. That will be your best fish keeping publication ever. So it's highly subjective to when you're able to learn what that publication is teaching you. I mean, all books are always teaching you if you pay attention, but sometimes you're not able to absorb all of the information that's coming across to you and absorb it in a way that makes it usable to you, so that you learn the information, you recognize how that information is useful because your skill level has reached a point where you can do that, and then you are able to turn around and put that information into practice. Welcome to the stream, Jimmy H. So I do recommend that video, if for nothing else, to see some of the stuff that I learned a long time ago, and see some of the stuff that was giving me information way back when, because it's been quite a while since a lot of that stuff was being published. So I would recommend that you check that out, because in 20 or 30 years you are also going to be in a position where you are talking to people that are reading the information that is available to them right now, but they have never really looked back through history into the things that were available a long time ago. And while some information becomes outdated, you know, there's always that. You know, the hobby's always progressing. It is also very valid information. Hey, Dank Tanks, welcome to the stream. Yeah, here's that link for that video, and I think you can find it in my book review section as well, because that's basically what I did, was reviewed a bunch of books. And I tried, out of my library and books that I have spent a great deal of time with, I tried to pick what I thought was the best offerings that were possible. You know, everyone's going to have a different library and a different experience of learning. So, you know, your mileage will vary. For you, it may be a completely different area and a completely different type of book. But for me, those were the best books in my experience books and magazines and publications that I've been around, you know, over my 40 years of fish keeping experience. Yeah, Chef. I mean, your skill level's pretty darn high, but I sometimes you read something and you get a little bit out of it, but the real point doesn't make it across to you. And it's a lot of times it involves how much experience you have in an area, and then you read something and you say, aha, that's where I was having my problem at when I was trying to do that, and now I see how this guy has managed to solve it. So it's when your skill level will allow you to absorb the, yeah, I do too, Charles. I mean, the stuff is all 60s and 70s, you know, at best, but some of it is just incredible when you figure out how those people were managing to do what even to this day we have trouble doing, and yet back then they were able to do those things. I might be able to grab my... Oh, I'm going to get these textbooks out. Because some people don't even have a clue what I'm talking about.
I think this is what you call dead air.
Yep, this is dead air. And you have to wonder if you're going to have any viewers when you get back. So these are what these Tetra books look like. If you ever see them, I highly recommend that you pick them up. And this was 50. And ADI is what they were called. And I think it was Aquatic Digest International. And so you will see different versions. I think they ran up to 70. There was a 70. And here was the one on aquatic plants. Not sure how well you can see that. And the aquatic plant one has almost 50 pages in it. And it's got articles by some of the people that were really big in the hobby back when this was published. And I was looking for a publication date. I think it's the 70s, maybe the 80s. Here's the one on catfish and loaches. And I wore this out because this was one of the ways that I really got to understand catfish and loaches. I guess I'm not really getting a clear screen there. What I probably ought to do is raise the there we go. That'll probably help. And this was actually 47 and 48. And this book has some incredible articles because Dr. Paul Loisel does the editorial comment. And if anybody knows people in the hobby that are really extremely excellent fish keepers, Dr. Paul V. Loisel is one of the best in the world. And I called Tetra, the International Tetra, and the company has been sold so many times that they don't even know anything about this magazine anymore. And this was when the original German guy, I can't remember his name, Here's the one on water chemistry and fish diseases. And these were some of the movers and shakers in the hobby at the time that these were published. So they got really good information. Plus they took letters. They took questions and letters in from other people. So you just get some incredible information out of these things. And I'm sure you probably can't really read those. But there's a look at some of the information. It says each digest is a composite of articles and color photographs by recognized experts on specific subjects. Each digest includes over 50 color photographs on 32 pages. Each digest gives useful hints for every hobbyist and adds up to a complete aquatic library. And the digest series is edited by world-recognized ornamental fish authorities Dr. Chris Andrews and Dr. Paul V. Loisel. And it was published in Germany back when Tetra was actually a German company, but it's been sold many times. Anyway, that's where I got that piece of information from that I was trying to pass on to King Lee, and it is why I chose this magazine as the best publication ever for me, because I learned things like that from it. And it's basically that when these were coming out, that I was at a point in my skill level that I was able to absorb the information that was being given to me. And like I said, there's 70 of these, 69 or 70, or maybe it's 72. And I tried to get a actual listing from the Tetra company, and they didn't even know anything about the magazine. So that shows you how Tetra has progressed. They no longer have any connection to the original German company at all. Yama's terrorizing us by telling us that his steak is cooking to medium rare. Now that you've put it out into the comments here, you got to share with all of us, Yama. We all want medium rare steak now, except I'd rather have mine rare. Okay, guys, we're getting close to the hour point here. If you've got questions for the end, you could ask them now. I'm not sure how long it's going to take my wife to get her PowerPoint put together. I'm going to guess that it's going to be another week or two. So you might look forward to that. And she does have some of her company stuff that she did when she still worked for APH, American Printing House for the Blind, up, and you will learn about lighting and its effect on vision from the PowerPoints and the presentations that she does have up. And it'll give you an idea of her qualifications, which are intense and many. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it. I hope everyone has a nice rest of their weekend, and that your fish keeping trials and tribulations are small, and that your successes are great. Have a good weekend, guys.